April 25, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. The volume has been tapering off this week, and today was probably another low volume. Well, it was another low volume day. The total range is a little more subtle, more quiet, because you can look at it's 54.80 to about 55.56. So that's about a 70-point move, but most of the time it stayed within this range that I found. There's a spike up, two legs down, another leg up, and then another consolidation. So although it's like a 70-point move, it really only stayed, for the most part, I would say about 30 points, and then kind of another really tight 10 points. I managed to take two trades today, which were both profitable, and I only found setups kind of earlier part of the day. And unfortunately, these big, nice moves, these legs that went up, I wasn't able to find a good entry, or at least a good entry I could identify. I'm sure other traders would have jumped on other things that I was probably too conservative to take. And then there was no economic data except maybe around 7 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is about right here, which is the consumer sentiment, but it really didn't do that much. There was some announcements by Trump again with tariffs, and it did cause some small reactions because I think about right here, or it was either right here, he had stated that there was going to be no relief on China because there's been a lot of things in the news which you really can't 100% trust. That China's backing down, China's holding the line, Trump's backing down, Trump's going to hold the line. So it was, you can't really rely on that. So you just have to be very careful during when you hear those announcements come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the trades right now. So pre-market, it was just pretty choppy. There's a strong sell-off right before the market opened. It was in this consolidation range here. It's a failed breakout, pushes up, and then this is on the open. It creates a first entry long, and that's really the only thing that you get. There's also a new low here. It's a first entry short, pullback. Technically, you have a second entry short here. This blue trading range isn't established yet, so you can't really use this as a key entry point. It's only about right here, much later, that you actually can draw this as a potential resistance line. So there's no trade here. Prices start moving down what I think is this green down channel. Technically, you have a first entry long pullback, second entry long, bad signal bar to go long on, then just kind of chop sideways, break, test the low, kind of bottoms out. I wanted it to touch down here to have some kind of triple test, but unfortunately it didn't. Reverses, creates a new swing low here, creates a first entry short, pullback, creates a second entry short, and then it kind of reverses back up. So this is actually where I take my first trade. I also saw this as a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, but I also saw it more like a first entry, and then I grouped this candle, this big spike, as part of the second leg. So it's first entry long, pullback, all the way down, visual second entry. So I saw it as possible second entry long visual and a higher low confirming the second entry short failure. So I entered right here. Let me zoom in. After this bar closed, I was watching it and I actually took this toward the end of this candle's life. So toward the end of the 2000 tick, because it was pressing up pretty strongly. I liked it, entered, pushes up, and then actually came down a little lower. So it kind of created this stem that, if I saw it at the very end, I probably would have maybe reconsidered, but I'm okay with this trade. So break this orange. So first attempt up, could be the second attempt up. This yellow up channel doesn't exist yet, so there's no key entry points to justify saying, well, bounce off here. I was only working purely off of the second entry short failure, higher low. It's actually a little bit lower, but also a first entry, second entry visual. First, second. Prices move up. So here, it does create kind of a triple test. One touch, two touch, three touch. And if you didn't count this first one, at least it's one touch, two touch, definitely a third touch here. There is a triple test here. It looks pretty good. It's a visual first entry. Second entry, I thought this is a possible trade. It's a bounce off the EMA, break of this orange down channel is tested low. It's bouncing, third touch bounce off this yellow up channel. So actually I thought this was a possible trade here. And it comes up, creates a triple test. When you see this in real time, you don't think of going short yet. But then when you see this, I was thinking of going short. It's a really strong signal bar, but I just needed this guy to breach and break below the EMA to feel a little safer. Then the follow through, this doji candle. Now, if I didn't take the trade before, I'm definitely not taking the trade now, because even though It's a strong candle. The follow through, it shows the struggle, the tug of war didn't fully press through. So I'm not taking a trade. It just kind of sat on the sides. And of course, then it starts moving down. Then it creates a visual first entry, second entry, all the way down. I saw this as a lower high. Now the prices have coming back from the top of the range. Technically didn't touch here, but I feel trusting of this range. So break of this yellow, I feel like prices are coming down. So I actually entered on this trade. It's a good signal bar coming from a triple test. It actually opened up here, did some things. I dropped my order right one tick below here. It picked me up, and this is a very, very quick trade. It filled me almost instantly, and then it jostled around and it kept going. So this could have been a 2-point trade, but I wasn't sure. I was aware and a little afraid that this midline might have some kind of reaction to it. So I was just happy with my 1-point scalp, get in and jump out as fast as I can. Then fletches down, starts to develop what I think is this purple down channel. It was actually tighter before, and I treated it as an overshoot. So overshoot and dwelled for quite a while outside. At that point, I said, okay, actually, I have to encapsulate some of this. Then it starts pushing up, break. I'm looking for a potential test of this purple, but I'm conflicted because this could be a failed breakout and another push back into range. So I'm not sure. I don't have enough information yet. Comes up, almost touches the EMA, so it's a first entry short. Then here creates a hidden second entry short lower high. So it's a new low, first entry short, pullback on the same candle. It ticks above and then flushes down. So I saw it as a first entry, second entry, and or lower high. The problem with this setup, so it's like potentially as trade, if you're more aggressive, you could probably take it. I was concerned that, is this truly a failed breakout? Is it going to bounce and try a second leg attempt like this green one? So it's break of this purple, one attempt up, pull back. Could it be a second attempt out this way? Or is it really going to flush down? I saw it. I didn't quite have the courage because it was sitting right close to where I thought the bottom of the range was. So I was actually looking for a failed second entry long and then a true lower high. But you don't get that. It kind of flushes down. So now the trade is done. Can't dwell on that. Prices then continue moving. Looks like EMA is holding, but then it creates some kind of bottoming support and it's moving back in. So this could be a failed breakout pullback, but it's a little sparse, far from the whole initial break. So it pushes up, break of this orange up channel, test the high, and it kept going. So I'm thinking it's moving up on this yellow up channel. It's this consolidation area. I saw this, and technically it's a new high here, but I saw it as a break of this yellow up channel. First attempt up, did test the high, came back. This could be a potential second attempt up, and there's multiple tests here. I didn't mark it though, but I saw this in real time, and I was debating, is there a quick 1-point scalp here? So when the follow through came, it opened, did a bunch of things, and then closed lower, pretty much the same size as this. I was pretty happy I didn't try to take this trade. I think if the EMA was right below here, I would have considered taking the trade, at least for a quick 1-point scalp. But let's say I did take the trade and I'm in it, this trade would have been successful. But yeah, the follow through, definitely, if I didn't take the trade then, I wasn't going to take it. Pushes, breaks, consolidates. Looks like it's moving up this yellow up channel. It's a little noisy. Breaks. And now it's creating higher lows every time. Kind of the double bottom. So it's a new high. It's a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long doesn't fail here. This isn't a good signal bar to go second entry long. You have a failure here, but now it's a little bit hard and ambiguous to tell because it could, in my opinion, could still bounce off of some kind of support here. Kind of chop sideways. Not something I really like to see, especially if I was on a trade. Pushes, so it's like a new low, first entry short. And then it just kind of spindly moves up. So I'm not even thinking of going short yet, but I do see this is a possible trading range. So if it creates a nice, so I don't count this as a first entry short anymore. I kind of reset the count here. So I'm looking for a visual first entry, then a second entry, ideally within this blue channel. So there's a first entry there. Technically you have a second entry here, but I didn't like that this is an inside bar, so I had to leave it alone. Again, this is an inside bar. So if you look at this candle, and this candle, all three of these are inside the range of this guy. So that's a little bit hard to trust. It's telling you that the traders are in a big tug of war, so I'm just staying out of it. Pushes up and out. So this move actually pushes outside of this initial trading range. And I thought it might be moving up on this purple up channel because it fit pretty nicely, but there's no second entries that I felt safe with. Pushes down. Looks like there's an EMA bounce, so it's actually like a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here. I just didn't like the signal bar. I recently drew this trend line support, but it's just the second confirmation because I didn't really count this as 1, 2, 3. I count this as one touch and pretty much just a second touch. So I didn't really trust this as a signal bar to go long at the moment. Turns out working, so I'm now looking for a higher low. And by the time it shows up, this could potentially be a higher low. I'm not a fan of this signal bar. Then the follow through isn't very convincing either because it's on the low side. The body's on the low side. It looks like it's losing strength. So I'm just abandoning any idea of going long at this point. Keeps pushing up. Again, there's no clean second entries here. These are really nice tight candles. So if you had if you were able to enter this, you have a pretty nice runner opportunity. So it's a new high, first entry long, and then it just kind of fails and kind of moves back down on the low side. Technically I have a new high here, but I did a count reset. So I said, this is localized new high. First entry, second entry. I'm not thinking of going long, seeing this. I'm looking for a higher low. And you really don't get a higher low because it breaks and then continues back downwards on this purple down channel. Hits a localized bottom. So I'm looking for a new low, first entry short. So here I see 2 legs down. If it hits and it creates a second entry short, I'm thinking this purple is going to test the low. So I'd be looking to go short. So you have first entry short, breaks above. Now I'm not really considering going short. It creates a second entry short. I'm thinking, is there a potential second entry short failure? It does, but it also kind of hits right around a localized support area. And it's a little far from the EMA, so I don't really quite trust it. Looks like it's 2 legs down, 2 legs up, 2 legs up. Not quite a measured move, but it is 2 legs up very close to it. So I'm weary of going long, but I'm not sure this short continuation is going to continue. And I didn't like that it didn't bounce off the EMA or this potential support of this yellow up channel. So I'm sitting on my hands. Prices move up. It creates this higher low. I thought this higher low actually might have been a trade because it actually touches once, twice, 3 times. It fits in this yellow up channel really nicely now. Decent signal bar. Felt it was a little aggressive because it does confirm the first entry short, second entry short failure, higher low. I just kind of wasn't I really wanted this EMA to come up closer. Then I would have felt more confident that at least I have 2 key entry points. Or the stem here had to come back down, touch this, and then close like it did at the high. Fortunately, those didn't happen, so I didn't have the courage to take this trade. If you did, you'd be in the trade now. My stop would have been below this guy, and it looks like I would have survived and probably got my scalp here, if not this guy. Prices move up. Kind of hits the sideways consolidation, moves into this really kind of smaller trading range because it's only a 10-point trading range. Now, previously, I think last couple of weeks, a 10-point trading range would easily have been nothing because the ATR and the candles were easily, I think, like 9, 10, 15 points. So it would have just like flushed right through this. The new low, it's a first entry short, second entry short. Second entry short is a little just kind of congested, seeing this as a potential second entry short. Then the confirmed second entry short here, but this isn't a good follow through. Pushes up. So I'm thinking it's in a trading range here. We have a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. I'm thinking there's a potential second entry long here. There is a triple test, kind of like 1 test, 2 test, 3 test. There's a failed breakout here. And I was debating at one time, maybe the bottom of the range is here, but it doesn't really touch nicely with these. So I actually liked it higher up, roughly about here, because it looked like it has more touches here. This could have been treated as a failed breakout and kind of a corresponding failed breakout here. Nevertheless, it looked like there was a triple test, or at least support here. It's coming back from the low side. It should be touching the high side, and it's a good signal bar. So I thought there's a possible trade here. It would have worked for a quick 1-point scalp. Then it flushes down and breaks. It's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Unfortunately, it makes another new low. And it just kind of gets a little bit noisy here. Very obvious swing low here, first entry short. and it pushes back up. By the time it creates the second entry short, this really isn't associated with this anymore. It's just one big move. So there's really no trade here, even though if you're doing a technical counts first entry, second entry, it doesn't help you. Pushes up, bounces. So it's a first entry long. Technically a second entry long, signal bar is not right, and it just kind of moves into the close. So overall, kind of an interesting day, interesting week. A marked difference than what it has been for the last couple of weeks, where I think everybody was getting used to all the crazy news announcements about trade wars, people do it, other countries imposing trade tariffs on us, and it was just really volatile. And I think this week people have calmed down, gotten a little more used to the reaction, and got a little more used to the news that always comes out seemingly at random times. So hopefully that was helpful.